if I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home, when I'm home.
Alright, AEW Dynamite. And this edition was a very special one. It celebrated the 30 years of Jericho. 30 years in the business, that's a great accomplishment. Especially the nature of the business and how a lot of these guys end up self-destructing and ending up drugged out. And sometimes, unfortunately, being killed in the ring, having to retire early because of injuries. But Jericho has been a mainstay. I believe that he's a guy who never been really injured that much. He's pretty much been a safe type of wrestler. But because I can't recall him being injured and out of wrestling when I watched him. Maybe one time, but I can't really recall. But I watched this episode of AEW, so let's just get into it and run down the show and give my thoughts. Now, let's start off. JR calling Ricky Starks Ricky Skaggs. JR Starks is a wrestler. Ricky Skaggs is a legendary country singer. So let you know that. I don't know if you know that. And the FTW titles on the line by Brian Cage. First time in 20 years. Was pointed out. And who cares? Will Hobbs challenges and fails as Cage defends the title and successfully retains the Who Gives a Shit title. This is their 24/7 title. The WWE has a 24/7 title. This is their 24/7 title, the equivalent. Now, the celebs giving congrats to Le Champion like Slash and Dennis Miller, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and his father, and Bully Ray. I think Bully Ray, all he did was just do this, and that was it. I didn't even hear anything. Didn't hear nothing from him. Now, the Hybrid 2. They get a title shot at the Tag Team Gold. Now, this is what I'm talking about. You give a shot at a team who's not even in the top 5. Maybe they are. I don't think so. But again, giving title shots willy-nilly. Maybe it's just because they're the ones that are picking the challengers, maybe. So maybe that's why it gives this thing a pass. Unlike, it's not like how the other, titles are what do you call it? Are treated, where they give title shots willy-nilly. But this is has something attached to it where FTW is picking their opponents. So maybe I'll give them a slide. Maybe. Now, during this thing, Tony Schiavone is trying to explain away the attack on him by Matt Jackson. They're a great tag team, and I'm gonna let bygones be bygones. So if anyone beats you up for no reason, you're supposed to forgive them, right? Like, it's almost like these. Like I said, I've said this in the past, that it's because of their standing in the company that they're the EVPs. They gotta fucking watch their P's and Q's. This is storyline. This isn't real. That's their real title. Why would that have anything to do with it? You know what I mean? Like, they never, they come out all outraged now. Before, they were like totally patting them on the back, pretty much saying, "Oh man, their attitude change is great. I like this new attitude in Matt and Nick Jackson." And then Tony Schiavone's all going, "Oh, they have a lot of pressure on them. They want to be the tag team champions. They want to also maybe." And I go, "No, there's no excuse for that shit, because they're doing it for no fucking reason. They're like giving them just give him a. He comes in and gives him a super kick for no fucking reason. There's no fucking excuse for that. And then he's trying to explain it away. Really? Now, FTR, they successfully retain. Were they going to lose to a scrub team? No. And then, backstage, during this whole match, the Young Bucks were watching. And then they end up super kicking the cameraman. Now, before that, they're like looking at him going, "Hey, this guy's spying on us, And then, like I said, this is the same man that's been filming them this whole time. And then they say, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Oh, our favorite move." Then they deliver super kicks, and I'm like, "Yeah, I think the writers are onto us. You know, the ones who are sick of their shit and how much they use that move ad nauseum. You know, so they figured, oh, you know what, we're gonna stick it to the people that always complain, and then have them say that. But it doesn't matter because you know what, Young Bucks, you still suck. So fuck off. Anyway, here comes the what's called it, the comedy backyard wrestlers. That what FTR calls best friends. And then they have wiener shirts and FTR's likenesses on them. And they are the number one contenders, but Hybrid 2 got shot. They say the shirts represent that FTR are wieners. Mature. Not best friends. Or cause, let's face it, they fail because best friends are. That's what I should say. Because they fail every time they challenge for the titles. And then next week they get another shot. Are they gonna lose again? Now, unless they're gonna get it, why keep giving it to them? Yeah, they're number one contenders, but once you are the number one contenders, once you challenge and you fail, ooh, you're like below or out of the top 5. Work your ass way back up again, and then maybe. And I've never seen different challengers. The only reason why we're getting different challengers is because FDR is choosing their opponents. Next week they're probably going to go against the damn what do you call that? Luther and Serpentico's, what's the name of the Chaos Theory or Chaos Group, whatever they're doing, right? It's going to be them next. Well, actually, they are defeated, so they should get a shot. It's some willy-nilly team. Now, MGF gives his congrats on the story and MGF gives his congrats and his story on Jericho and how he met him. And now Shaq and Gene Simmons, Don Callis, Lars Ulrich, DDP give their best wishes. Now, dog collar match for the TNT title. Mr. Brody Lee versus Cody. JR says that the Hammer Valentine and Roddy Piper competed in one of the most famous dog collar matches. In fact, both men say that they've never gotten over it. Well, some say that they have never gotten over it. They've never gotten over it. Yeah, JR, even Piper, who passed away, hasn't gotten over it. It's like, please take him off commentary. I mean, he says some inane shit. Like, he's saying it, and again, commentators on either side are not correcting him. Because Roddy Piper can't tell you to this day that he hasn't gotten over it. Maybe in the past you talked to him. How about you say that? Roddy Piper has died. He's passed on. I think he's gotten over it. You know? I don't think he has a problem with it anymore, JR. Maybe the Hammer does still. He was in the audience watching this match, and you see him cringing sometimes. You see his, you know, and so you probably felt it every time those guys would do a move, and the collar would, you know, jerk on their neck and all that stuff. The chain being used to hit them. You know what I mean? It's like JR is losing it. All I can say. Now, I tell you, this match though is as brutal as I remember. I've seen a dog collar match before, and yeah, it's all in this match, man. It's all blood and pain. And at one point, Arn Anderson delivers a spine buster. He goes in there, and one of the guys from the Dark Order come in there, and he hits him with a spine buster, and it looks even better than some of the young guys who deliver it. You know, still got it. Now, Crossroads by Cody and Mr. Brody Lee kicks out at 1, folks. I mean, he kicked out right away. And Cody takes a powerbomb and lands on the chain. You could even see Cody look down, as if like he was trying to protect himself. Where's the chain at? I don't want to land on there. But he couldn't do anything about it because he was on his way down and he landed on the chain. Now, speaking of the chain, Cody wraps the chain around Mr. Brody Lee. on his head, covering his mouth, his nose, and his eyes. It delivers a crossroads and pins Lee 1, 2, 3, and is once again the TNT champ for the second time. I gotta admit, this was a great match. It was. And Cody is gonna stick with us fans. You know, he says he won't change his path. You know, blonde hair, kind of like a little bit of a heel here, a little bit of a edge on him, but he says he's not gonna change himself anymore. And he says on the anniversary show he wants to defend his newly won title. Orange Cassidy comes out and Cody gives his thumbs up, and it's Cody versus the freshly squeezed one for the TNT title. It actually was confirmed later on that the title will be on the line and that it's official. And I like that because I enjoy Orange Cassidy. He's probably one of the bright spots for me in this company and thing. I only like a few people. I think a lot of them are overrated. I think a lot of them are pushed too hard. Some of them need to get their heads out of their asses and start really, showing up, if you will. You know? But that's going to be a pretty good title match. He challenged Brody Lee not too long ago, so he gets a shot again. I mean, but the TNT title to me is almost like it's an open challenge type of title. I could kind of give it a leeway when it comes to just anybody's thing, but I don't even know if they even have an official ranking system for this title, so who knows. Now, Wardlow, Colt Cabana, and Hangman are added to the AEW World Title Tournament to crown a number one contender. We already have Ray Phoenix and Jungle Boy, so that's 5. So they got 3 more. Oh no, also Omega, so they got 6. They got 2 more left. And and I bet they're going to start this tournament to, kind of light the fuse on the feud between Page and Omega. I don't know where in the brackets that they land. I think Omega will be on one side, Page will be on the other, so that they can get them both to win their brackets and then be in the final. I hope it ain't like that because that's just too easy to start a feud. You can see it coming from a mile away. But Omega, he's interviewed and he says he's all about tournaments and has probably won it if you heard it. And pretty much says that, doesn't matter if it's Hangman, doesn't matter who it is, he's going to win the tournament. And then go on to become the world champion, like everybody predicted him to at the start of AEW and start of Dynamite back in October of last year. Now, Big Swole versus Serena Deeb, and Deeb is countering every move Swole throws at her. I mean, Deeb is regarded as one of the best, a trainer in the past, so she knows her stuff. She really does, folks. Don't sleep on Serena Deeb. Now, a kick by Swole sends Serena back into the ropes. A headbutt does the same, and then she comes off with a rolling elbow to knock down, take out Serena Deeb, and she pins her and gets the victory. So Big Swole continues to climb up the rankings. I think she's number 2, if I'm not mistaken. So pretty soon she'll be in that number 1 spot. She may have to, who's the number 1 person now? Possibly Nyla Rose. Now, let's go with Mox, and he talks about his history with Archer in Japan. He barely got it out of their last encounter. Archer actually talked earlier too, and also talked about that encounter they had. I believe, Archer was the New Japan United States champion. If it is in New Japan, but I know that they have a United States championship in Japan, and he lost it to Moxley. And I believe Moxley is still is the U.S. champion. For I believe it's New Japan. But people. So it's like people talk about the match and say that how brutal, and how even their rivalry there. So it's actually a good thing that they're both right now in a feud, if you can call it that. Since you even talk about Archer, even said, like you're busy defending your title against guys like who's that? Eddie Kingston and the Butcher, tough guys, but they're not tough like me. That's what he was saying about himself. I'm a different guy. So you've been practicing on these guys, so you should be ready for their match. Next week, the anniversary show. And speaking of Archer, Mox, he says he will not lay down for the challenger. He is going to leave it all in the ring, and Archer will have to take the strap off him to beat him. That's true. Archer ain't gonna fight to say, here you go. You ain't gonna do that. You gotta come at him. Tough motherfucker. Now the main event is Chaos Project with Luther and Serpentico versus the Demo God Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. Now 1991 was the first time Jericho and Luther met in the ring, and 1996 was the last time. They're building off of that to put out any kind of interest that anybody might have in this match. Now, I don't remember Luther competing on Dynamite, but it strikes me as odd, the booking, to put him in a main event situation, even if there is history between him and Jericho, like I said. Lance Storm, Kevin Smith, Eli Roth, Gabriel Iglesias, and Chavo Guerrero, Steel Panther, don't know who that is, and Ultimo Dragon and Paul Stanley send their best regards before this match starts. Now, the waiting game again, as slow lumbering Luther goes to the top turnbuckle, and all wrestlers outside wait for him to fall like a shooting star. And why? Luther is like a lumbering, bumbling fool. It's like seeing a damn, I don't know, a 95-year-old man trying to go up to the top rope. It's just like he was going up there, and everybody already got into place, all holding each other like this, and then they're looking up. Like I said in the past, how about you guys, fight each other? Look over the corner of your eye. Okay, Luther's not at the top turnbuckle yet. Okay, you're fighting, elbowing, all this stuff. And then you look up and Luther's coming down. It's like, I get it, that's the one thing these guys got right, is that they are very careful and they are prepared to catch the person as they're coming down, because that's what they do. That's what you got to do, to protect each other when you wrestle. But it's like, you're standing there for like 10-15 seconds waiting for him to come down. It looks obvious. You guys are not in the independence where there's no cameras, and so there's nobody going to be able to notice that. Only the people in attendance will notice that. But you're a national TV, one of the biggest companies, the second biggest company in the world, and you guys are acting like you're still in the independence, and you can just get away with anything that won't be caught on TV. This is going to be caught on TV every time. You're waiting for a bumbling, fumbling Luther to come off the top turnbuckle, and you're just waiting on him. And he looks sloppy, coming down. And I can see, it's the thing that I said, I can see Jericho was carrying Luther and Serpentico in this shit match. Jericho, thank God, he puts an end to this match and hits the Judas effect to Luther and gets the win for his team. And Jericho and Hager remain undefeated. It's like you see him, Jericho. I don't know if I can see, but maybe I did see some frustration. Like he's trying to do the best, because the Jericho is great at that, carrying people and making sure that he can carry them to a good match. He couldn't carry Luther and Serpentico to a great match if they had handles on them. He couldn't carry them. You know what I mean? That saying. It's like this match was just the main event. Why? Because of the fact that they have history. Put them next to the main event. It should have been Cody and what do you call it? But I guess they wanted to end the TNT title, right? Should have been the main event. But I guess they wanted to end it on Jericho because it's his 30th anniversary, so why not? You know what I mean? But could have been a better match. Now, Jericho's there and he's talking, looking like he's gonna do a speech and thank him, and then out comes MJF. We hear his music, and it's not about me, says MJF, but you interrupted Jericho. And then MJF is talking like Jericho and being annoying. Presents a clown, or clownicle the clown. Holy horseshit! This is the ultimate in cringe. And then he presents a gift-wrapped photo of himself, and Jericho proceeds to smash the clown over his head with that very big frame picture of MJF, and guy doesn't even go down. I think I kind of saw his head go like this, so I guess he was trying to act like he's standing, but he's just dizzy. And then Jericho like had to really lay into him with the Judas effect to knock him down. Like guy didn't sell. I think that's what it was. What the hell was he doing? It's like he was a guy that they just took off of. They paid a fan or they paid some actor, and the guy didn't know. It was like last minute, so the guy's not gonna know to sell. It's not like that they had glass on it or anything. It was just a paper. It was just his frame with a frame and his picture. Now, Jericho's like, I hate clowns and don't ever interrupt me again. I mean, it looked like they were gonna, come to blows. They laugh it off, and then Jericho wishes everyone a good night. And then the roster starts heading to the ring. And what a load of shit. And this is what 30-year celebration is supposed to look like. And I mean, people are talking about how bad, Triple H's 25th anniversary was. I think with Triple H, they didn't show a lot, no matches or nothing. I can understand with Jericho because a bulk of his career is in WCW, WWE, and then WWE has, the rights to those. They aren't going to lend out those videos to this company, but they could have shown what he's done in AEW. He's done a lot. In Japan, don't they have a kind of like a relationship with New Japan? They could got some of the footage. All he did was just the Oh, here's the thing. Here is guys giving him best regards and best wishes, and then let's end it off with him being interrupted, not being able to say a speech or whatever, and then all of a sudden all these people just coming out and they share the bubbly with him. And then this is the thing that was like, what the fuck was going on? Wardlow and Hager, from the moment MJF came out, were staring down each other. Now this is the moment, because everybody knows, we've seen Instagram and Pinterest, whatever you want to call, pictures of all these guys, even heels and baby faces, hugging each other, taking pictures, mugging and all that stuff, right? Making faces and friends. But then why is it that Hager and Wardlow were still in character? Even one guy went like this to Wardlow, like to pat him, hey, what's up? And he just keeps looking forward. And you see him, they're just looking at each other. I'm going, okay, so when are you guys going to start brawling? It was stupid, the way they just stood there being in character. I go, guys, it's they're celebrating now. It's no longer the show anymore. It looked really awkward. Like, I don't know what the hell they were doing. Are they going to set up a rivalry with those two? If so, they better do something about it next week or something. But then it would look stupid. That's one of the things people are going to show. Like, look at these two idiots, like, looking at each other. Like, they're going to throw down, and it's already, like, way past that. It's all about celebrating Jericho now, and everybody and their grandma's coming out. There's no damn, feuds anymore at that point. They're all friends, right? Anyway, saving grace of this was the match for the TNT title. Everything else was I could give a fuck. With the Jericho celebration, if you can call it that, was nothing. It was like, what was that? I'll go back and watch the Triple H one now and probably enjoy that better. That had absolutely nothing. So, why couldn't you do better? Why couldn't you use Jericho? Why couldn't you show things he did, like a highlight reel from his time in AEW? Did they even do that? I mean, did I miss it? Did I blink and did it go by? I don't know. Anyway, that's my video, my rundown and thoughts on 30 years of Jericho. We only saw this episode? We only saw day one, how many days is it now? Since they started AEW Dynamite, right? Like, I didn't see 30 years. I saw one day. The day of the show. But anyway, that's my video. For those of you who stopped by and checked it out, I appreciate it. Because I didn't appreciate Dynamite this week, but oh well. It's gonna close and say take care.